G'day folks, and welcome to this introduction and playthrough of Donnerschlag, Escape from Stalingrad. This is a design by Patrick Gebhardt and Pepito Spazzagutti, published of course by VUCA Simulations. I recently unboxed this and spoke about the outstanding quality of the components in this game, from everything from the box texture, the art, the quality of the boxes, through to the counter art design, the map art, the player aid design. Everything about this game is of the highest quality. This is a relatively low complexity hex encounter game. It focuses on that attempt in December 1942 to break the Sixth Army, the German Sixth Army, out of that Stalingrad cauldron up here in the north. So the Germans will be trying to break through here. At some point in the start of the turn, they will yell out Donnerschlag. They will select an actual meeting zone, A, B, or C. They will put the two dummy counters, put all the meeting zone counters face down. And to win the game, they must have a unit in command, in supply, inside that dedicated zone. So if I picked zone B, I would need to have a unit within this zone to win the game. And basically, from the time you call Donnerschlag to, you've got 4 turns to achieve that objective. It's been interesting studying the map. So this is a setup. The Soviets are set up here, south of the cauldron, east of the Don River, and the German forces have been pushed way down to the south. This is Akse, one of the largest sort of towns in the area, and then you've got that one down the south there. I keep forgetting what it's called, Kotelnikovsky, which is kind of where the Germans grouped up for their drive. There's a rail line running through here. There are numerous major roads running north, south, east and west, and a lot of minor roads. The terrain effects chart is fairly straightforward. Most things cost 1. Rivers are a bit troublesome. For infantry, they can ignore them. For tanks, you must start adjacent. It costs all their movement, and I think headquarters can't move across at all. Or maybe I've misunderstood that. I need to double check that. No effect for infantry, cavalry. All for others, not allowed for tanks. The tanks must cross at a bridge. Most things cost 1. If you start and end your turn, your movement on a road, you get to move 1 additional space. Otherwise, roads just cost the regular 1. A lot of open terrain in this area. About 100 kilometres that the Germans are trying to cover to relieve that 6th Army. But, I mean, hex encounter, but that's only one part of it. The game is driven by this card-driven activation system, most reminiscent of enemy action Ardennes, enemy action Kharkov, in the sense that you activate a formation to move. So, and the colour codings are very clear to see. So you see the dark blue here, 23rd Panzer Division. Okay, you may not know where they are, but the dark blue band tells me that this is where they are. I've got any formation. You pick any formation. Romanian cavalry, they're in the dark green down here. I've drawn 2 of these and a Romanian infantry card. Now, of course, if you're looking, the Romanian cavalry here have high movement rates of 6. So I've already kind of devised a plan here. But the way this works is I play a card, move, and then conduct combat. Combat system is fairly straightforward. It uses a combat results table with step losses and retreat results. Units either have a reverse side or they don't. They take step losses. If you roll a 1 when the Axis forces are attacking, the Soviets get to draw whoa, there we go, straight off the bat, a replacement infantry counter. If they draw the snafu, there's I think 2 snafu results in here, they don't draw anything. Then there's tank replacements, and then if the Soviets are attacking and they roll a 6, the Germans can draw their alarm units. So there's another snafu. There's only one of those in there as well. Their alarm unit to defend in that space. So I put them up the top of the board there. I should also point out that both sides have their deck of, their hand, of combat cards. So here's the German hand, and they get to set one of these aside. The Germans have their OKH, box. The Soviets had their Stavka box, and they can hold that from turn to turn. I can play as many combat cards as I want. Basically, it alternates during combat. Some cards are automatically. They can be played at any time, and they automatically happen. Other cards will require a die roll for them to be resolved. And if they happen, if they are played and you succeed, they're usually removed from play. Otherwise, they may be just discarded and reshuffled in. And these can add things like additional step losses or negating the effects of armor or all sorts of things. Additional command activations. In fact, that is exactly what the Germans have reserved. So I've kept this card aside to use in a special situation. After my own activation, the formation activated last can be activated again, and then I remove it from play. I thought that might be really good for a breakout when the Germans are ready. The Russians, the Soviets, have selected this card, Hero of the Soviet Union. After combat, after one combat, if they roll 4 or less, they cause an additional 2 step losses for the Germans. Now, I'm thinking I'd like to get this out early to cause some heavy losses on the Germans, in effect where they're trying to break through. It is really quite a simple game to learn. There's only about 9... I say 9. It's very well illustrated. You can see here a full-page example of combat, full-page example of supply here. Supplies are very easy before. You have to basically draw supplies back to a friendly supply source. Should be easy in most circumstances, unless the unit is surrounded. And what else? Look, I've covered the victory objectives. If the Germans cannot reach that meeting place to be determined, the Soviets win. If they can reach it within turn 4 turns from declaring Donnerschlag, they win. Reinforcements arrive. The Soviets have a larger reinforcement schedule than the Germans, about twice as large, is my quick estimate. And on turn 4, we will add our late game cards to the deck, which I've set off to the side. In fact, here you can see just off to the bottom right, the Soviet late game cards. The board is big and it's very beautifully illustrated. I've spoken about this during the unboxing, but this is some outstanding map art. So full credit to VUCA Simulations. As I said, they are setting a new standard for their designs. With that done, I think I'll jump into it and kind of show you how this works. Turn 1 is pretty much all set up. The cards have been drawn. All there is to do now is for the Germans who go first to pick where they would like to start, or what card they'd like to activate. And you'll notice these are all early campaign cards. There's also a late campaign set of cards that will be added. And get going. I'm disappointed they've only got one sort of 23rd Panzer Division I was hoping to sort of drive through this area. Only one card there. Fortunately, I do have any formation. And what I was thinking is try to punch through there and then follow up perhaps with the Romanian cavalry. Unfortunately, I can't do much with the Romanian infantry out here on the far right. They're a relatively small force and not really where I want to be attacking. So I might just hold them back for now. Yeah. The rules are slightly different for activation for the Germans and the Soviets. So I'll try to keep that page of the rulebook open. For historical context, there's a great map here. Let me show you this map. So this is the situation at the kind of end of November, early December 1942. And then this is after that German attempt to link up with the Stalingrad pocket cauldron. So this is where we are. We're looking at this corridor here. This is the rail line running through the middle of the map. This is Aksay here, Kotelnikovsky up here, and pretty much you've got A, B, C meeting places to link up with. Rulebook is very, very clearly written, beautifully illustrated, lots of colour. Here is the summary of the different command activations. So the Germans will activate a formation. The Soviets will do one of 3 things. They'll activate a colour type of units. They'll activate either colour or a formation, so the 13th Tank Corps, I think, or they'll activate 1 HQ or one formation. And an HQ can activate all units within the command radius. In this case, it's a radius of 3, so they activate all units within a radius of 3. So just a subtle difference there in the way units are activated. If the Germans activate any formation, choose any formation on the board, and the headquarters corresponding is activated, I then activate all units within that range. So for example, I could pick 23rd Panzer and activate all units within 4 hexes. All units within 4 hexes. So I could start with the formation, activate the 23rd Panzer here, and activate all German units within 4 hexes. That would give me a very big opening. Do I start with the Big Bang, or do I start with the 23rd Panzer? I think I'll start with the Big Bang and see if I can create a gap before the Russians can respond. So we're going to lead with any formation. I put that in the discard pile. You notice clear spaces for all these cards. You'll notice 5 card limit, 5 card combat hand limit. This can flip over to 6, gives you a larger hand. The Germans also have, at the very top of the screen, that it's called Schlall Regluk, a good luck marker, basically, which lets them either discard, you can play this marker to discard a card from hand. There's a few things you can do with it. To re-roll a die in combat. Something else. Reroll a die, draw a card, draw a new card from combat. I thought there was something else you could do with it. Maybe I imagined it. I must have imagined it. I'll double check. And then if you use that, if the Germans use it, they pass it over to the Soviets, who can then use it. And at the start of each turn, it returns to the German hand, whether or not the Soviets have used it or not. All right, so we're activating formation. I'm going to activate, around this area here. This is where I want to punch through, straight through the center here, and see what happens. So this headquarters here is being activated, and all German units within 4 spaces. So up to here, 1, 2, 3, 4 them, 1, 2, 3, 4 them as well. So that gives me a good range of units. 1, 2, 3, 4 them as well. Not these guys at the rear. Okay, let's try and move. So zones of control. You enter an enemy zone of control, you stop. You may, on a subsequent turn, freely leave that enemy zone of control without paying any additional movement point penalties. You can move enemy zone of control to enemy zone of control, but must then stop. Now, what I want to do is try and drive a wedge between these two forces, make it difficult for the Soviets to kind of, to activate this formation, the 302nd Corps. Perhaps, I don't know what the formation is, they can retreat as a group. If I can sort of drive a wedge between these guys and the brown units here, it may be advantageous. Now, how am I going to do that? They are weak on defense. You can see 1, 2, 2. I do have my armored units here. There are tank bonuses. There are combined arms bonuses. If I combine this with motorized infantry, which they are stacked with. All right, let's try and think about the logistics of getting this done. So I want to bring some. There's a bridge there and a bridge there. Okay, so maybe I'll be more advantageous driving up this way, because these guys are blocking the bridge and these guys are sitting on the other side of the bridge, which is problematic. I could move my infantry across the bridge as though it doesn't exist. A reminder, the terrain effects chart, unbridged river, infantry and cavalry can basically ignore it. I do have cavalry here. I don't have any plane. Oh, these guys here can move 3, so they can cross the bridge. Combat effects for attacking across the river. -1 dice roll modifier. No advance after combat. And no combined arms bonus. But they've only got a strength of 1. So if I can go 1, 2, get my cavalry across there. I'll tilt them to show that they've moved. And then move these guys up 1, 2. Now there is no mandatory. I've been playing a lot of games lately with mandatory attacks. There's no mandatory attack here, so I can get 4 on 1 here with a -1 dice roll modifier, I believe. I'll have to double check that. And I don't have to attack this unit. They're also in a town which will negate any tank bonus that applies. There's none there anyway. Okay, so that's my right flank of this drive. Now, there's also overrun rules, but you only overrun enemy headquarters, not sort of enemy combat units. All right, so how am I going to get across this river? Because I've got to move there and then stop because I'm in an enemy zone of control. All right, and they've moved. Now I'm going to go into here, I suppose, and they've moved. Now I can't do... Oh yeah, there's a bridge here I can see. So I can go 1, 2, 3 and move to there. But these guys are kind of stuck on this side of the river. So maybe I'll go 1, 2... Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll move to there and we'll try and get maybe an attack on this one. So maybe I'll do... Oh, they're in a town which will negate that armor bonus. What kind of CI? I haven't really studied the CRT yet. So it's 3 to 1. I've got a 1 in 6 chance of suffering my own casualties myself, attack or retreat. And a 2 in 3 chance of forcing the defender to retreat. Low chance of causing a hit though. 5 or a 6, so 1 in 3 chance of causing a step loss. Or if I do 4 to 1 on this unit here, that would really pin that unit in. Oh, advance as well, I should point out. Only armoured units advance after combat. So, I mean, first turn, you've got this little puzzle based on what cards you dealt with, based on what formation you activate, and what you want to do. Very interesting. Okay, look, throwing everything at this, so I think this formation here... Oh, by the way, you can attach these 2 formations, the 2 white formations, to any... two white units to any formation you want, and they stay with them throughout the game. So I've attached these to this 6th Panzer Army and the 6th Panzer Army. So they're both out there. It's just the way... I felt they were a bit weak out there on the left flank, so I thought I'd strengthen them a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, these can activate. I can go straight through here. One, 2, 3. And they've moved. Headquarters also must end their movement on a road. They can move off a road, but must end their movement on a road. I'm basically just trying to maximise my attacks on these units. These guys can't do much. I can't bring much more to bear. This is going to be a 2 to 1 attack, but they're out in the open. So 2 to 1 is a bit risky. There's only a 50% chance of causing a retreat, unfortunately. Just because I can't quite get around... I'll stop here because it's an enemy zone of control. So really, I'm forced to focus on these 2 units in the centre here. I may as well try and get a hit up here. 1, 2... Move up the infantry. 1, 2, 3. Stacking is, I have mentioned this, it's 2 units per hex. Some units have free stacking, such as the headquarters. Any unit with free stacking has that little symbol on the left of the unit marker. 1, 2, 3. That's an HQ. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can't get much into the front lines anyway. That is the end of my first movement phase. Now, at the end of movement, I declare combat. And... I declare combat. And like I said, I'm not sure about what to do here. I think I might just get the one attack off here. So yeah, rivers. I read that rivers have no restriction on cavalry or infantry. Motorized units must start adjacent. Tank units cannot cross an unbridged. Yeah, I've been using the bridges anyway. All good. But in combat, let's have a look. River. Tanks cannot participate at all in attacks across a river. There is a -1 dice roll model for units attacking via an unbridged river, even if only one unit is attacking. So most games will have, unless you've got one unit attacking from a normal side. In this case, at 4-1, -1, I may be better off doing this will be a 3-1 attack on the town. Oh, that'll be a -2 dice roll modifier. No, I'll do 4-1 here, -1, combat cards. Let's see what these combat cards can do for us. Okay. Negates a step loss. These are infantry, I don't really care too much. Before combat, negates the effect of a town. Well, that could be good. That could be a good card. Any enemy infantry step is removed. German plays choice. There's only one step here. So none of the... there's also tactical events as well. There's general events and tactical events. These are more kind of combat oriented. A plus or minus shift, 2 dice are thrown, you choose a result, a plus or minus shift, and a plus or minus shift. And these are mostly discard after play. The events are often removed. The tactical events, you play it for either or. The tactical events are mainly discarded. I like that negate the effect. I might hold to that. This I might play. Alright, so before combat, plus or minus shift, I succeed, I get a beneficial shift in my favour. The Russians. Okay, let's look at their hand. I haven't even looked at their cards yet, so I don't even know what they've got, to give the element of surprise. So I'm not sort of planning based on what I know about the Russians. This is a 2-play game, I'm playing it two-handed. Okay, what can they do? Re-roll any of your dice again, plus or minus shift, re-roll again, get a replacement infantry. I don't think this is a really important battle. So, although if I bring in a replacement infantry on a 5 or less, no, I think that looks like a good card to play at a later situation. This opening drive, you can kind of expect that they're going to smash through, so I won't play anything. It goes back over to the Germans, and they can choose to play additional cards if they want. They won't. They'll hold, and we just roll the dice. So we're looking at 4-1. Now it's shifted to 5-1 with a -1 dice roll modifier because of the river. So we're looking at 5-1, 3, which is 1 step loss. That kills them. They're eliminated. Now it was an Axis attack. I'm going to show you the CRT. An Axis attack, but it didn't roll a 1. So we don't place an ad hoc unit. There's no advance after combat because, as I said, only tank units advance after combat. Now I could get this attack off here, 4-2, -2 dice roll modifier, it'd be 2-1. I would play my town card, but look, I think for now I'll just sit there. I think the Soviets will pull out of there anyway, and I'll gain the town without needing to fight for it. Here I've got 2-1. It's in the clear. I have a tank bonus, which gives me 1 shift to the right, so 3-1, and I have a combines arms bonus. So I have a tank and mechanized infantry units stacked together. It's pretty easy to see. They've got a yellow marker. That means they're mechanized, can be used for that purpose. So I've got 4-1 odds in effect. I'm using the 4-1 column. Let's look at my events. I think I might go for another tactical event, another column shift. Now the Soviets with this unit right in the middle, I think they want this. So this is now 5-1. I think they want this unit to survive. Yeah, they're going to play they're going to play this to cause a column shift on a 4 or less. No, they fail. Sorry, that's a Soviet card. Back over to the Germans. They're still at 5-1. I think they're happy with that. The Soviets, re-roll, replacement infantry. I'm very tempted. But again, I think the breakthrough is inevitable. I'll hold these cards for later. We'll stop there. 5-1. 5-1, 3 is a 1. That's only a one step unit, so they are eliminated. And my armor can advance into that hex. Advance after combat, pretty straightforward. You just advance. It retreats a 1 hex retreat. Only tank units can advance. If it becomes empty as a result after combat, the attacking tank units can advance into the defender's hex. And that's it. So it's just I believe, a 1 hex retreat. It's retreat 1 hex after combat. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so now we can move to the next combat, and we've got this unit here surrounded. They're in. What are they in? That is just a rail. Oh, it's a minor village train station, a -1 dice roll modifier. So I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're looking at 5-1 this. 5-1. Tanks 6-1. Combined arms 7-1. Germans aren't playing any cards. Soviets won't worry. So 7-1. 7-1. 4 is a 2. They're eliminated. And the tanks can advance. Or disadvance with those guys, I suppose. Yeah, the advance rules are interesting. Just armoured, just tank units advancing, not the infantry, not the mechanised infantry. And then over here we've got 2, 4, 6 infantry, so we've got 3-1. 3-1. 3-1. We won't play anything else. Oh, it's a -1 dice roll modifier. Sorry, but killed them anyway because of the train station. 3-1 here. Germans won't play anything. Soviets won't play anything. 3-1. 3-1. 3 is a DR result. That's all, and no advance. And then over here we've got 3-1. They're in a small town, which is a -1 dice roll modifier. So 3-1. Tank bonus pushes up to 4-1. No cards for either side. 4-1 -1. Ouch. So 4-1 1 is a 0. The Soviets get an ad hoc infantry. So I shuffle up this little pool and I draw some reinforcements to hold that bridge out in the west. Right. Bolsters their defense. Once those infantry reinforcements run out, that's it. No more can be drawn until they return to the cup. They can return to the cup when they die. So that's good for the Soviets to be drawing these markers. All right, that's the opening German attack. Now we just flip over to the Soviets and let's look at their cards. And again, I have not looked at these before. Okay, so they have a couple of different cards. They've got yellow units of 1 army. So you can pick, for example, the either the cream-coloured 51st Army or the pink-coloured 2nd Guards Army. So I don't worry about the Guards Army. They're holding back. I may, for example, activate all the yellow banded units of all those cream-coloured yellow banded units. So one here, a lot, basically. A heck of a lot of units all over the board. I've got 3 of those, and I've got the blue units of 1 army, or I've got this one, which is units of 1 colour from 1 army, or all units of 1 formation. So I've only got 1 of those, so I might hold on to that for now, and I might just start with the yellow units of 1 army. Okay. So yellow units of 1 army. I'm going to pick the 51st Army. Yellow units. So these guys can activate. I'll straighten up those Germans so I don't confuse myself. Okay, yellow units. That unit, that unit. Tank unit there. We come around. They were yellow, yep, so they will activate. They can activate. They can activate. They can activate. And that's it. So it's kind of a scattering of these units. It's an interesting system. It's kind of demonstrating kind of local initiative and local command, things like that, I suppose. They are activated. I'll double check my activation, make sure that's done correctly. In the command section, yellow units, yep, all the yellow banded units from all over the place. And then they'll move. Now, Soviets want to try and get over here and block this. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3. Jeez. 1, 2, 3. Only movement rate of 3. These guys are cavalry. They have 5. They're on a road, so they move an extra point if they stay on a road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tank is also on a road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Trying to get to the center there. 1, 2, 3 on a road. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to try and do is hold the door open for those guys, although I think they're kind of in trouble because they're going to get pinned against that edge, and I don't have many cards that let them move. I'll see what I can do anyway. They'll hold the small village there, and I'll move these guys up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get them close to the front. Yep, that's about it. So no combat for the Soviets. And a bit scary to look at their hand of cards and realise that they can't really. That's the only card that would let them. I could have pulled that formation back. We'll see what happens. The Germans, however, have got their plan. They've pretty much activated their HQ. They're now going to activate the 23rd Panzer Division, the dark blue units. 23rd Panzer Division, all units, wherever they may be, activate and can move. And we are going to... And units have to be activated to engage in combat as well. So we might disengage these guys. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. They've moved. And let's try and drive north. On a road, where are we going to go? Try and grab these bridges here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because we're on a road. 1, 2, 3, 4, extra movement because we're on a road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We left the road briefly, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Stuck on the road. We now have a nice stack there. I know that's a reconnaissance unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stuck on a road. Stuck on a road. Headquarters 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. That's 6th Army. 6th, sorry, Panzer. I've got this unit here now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so German breakthrough is happening, but they're about to hit the Axe River. There's two rivers here. There's the Axe River and the Mishkova River, which runs off the Don east to west. Two kind of main rivers blocking that German advance. That's it for that card. No combat on the German turn, so we can head back over to the Soviet activation. Okay, yellow units, yellow units. Let's save this formation. Units of one colour from one army, or all units of one formation. I think I've also got these units way up here with the Romanians, but I think they're probably in greatest trouble. So what I'm going to do is activate all units of this 4th Corps, and they're going to try and get out of there. So they're going to try and get back behind the Asker River. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know they're weak, but they're stopping the infantry from crossing straight over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They'll occupy that little town there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They followed the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're in a little town there. So that's not bad. The Soviets got out of there. They've pulled back close to that Aksay River. And they may live to fight another day. Giving up ground to survive. All right. Back over to the Germans. And what are we going to do here with this Romanian cavalry? Drive them up. They are around here in the centre. So, yep, let's go. Romanian cavalry. And where are they going to move to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ignore the rivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's HQ. I don't know if that counts. And I think they may count as Romanian cavalry. It's the kind of the division. Yeah, I think this is I think the headquarters counts as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Across the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can stack the Romanians and the Germans together. Okay, Soviets. What are they going to do now? More yellow. More yellow. Let's try and organise our defences here. So these guys are going to move up against the river. The tank unit here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, will give me a solid defence there and a tank formation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put our zone of control next to that bridge crossing. And 1, 2, 3 will occupy that town, that city, in fact, to give me some nice defensive benefits. Over in the west, we are pretty well set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty happy with the defense here. Everything's good here. Again, they're just holding that point there, stopping the infantry from getting across. So at no point, the Germans cannot cross this river easily. They'll have to kind of fight their way through. Okay, back to the Axis forces. Romanian cavalry, sure, they'll follow up again. There's use a bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop there. 1, 2, 3. Just going to protect those flanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so pretty much sending the cavalry around. It's not about... I'm just trying to maybe pin in these forces out in the east. And no combat. Yep. Okay, back to the Soviets. Blue units of one army or yellow units of one army? Blue units or yellow units? I might activate the blue units of one army and try and get some of these guys saved. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the road. Here we go. These guys can maybe protect this flank. 1, 2, 3, 4, bonus road. 1, 2, 3, 4. Blue units. Okay, so this unit here could. I think I'll stay there. And these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4 with a bonus movement. And they're all a different army. Okay, so Soviet defences looking pretty good. A very fast moving game. I'm almost through the first turn of a maximum of 8 turns. Romanian infantry. That's all I've got left for the Germans. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? 1, 2, 3. Pin them in there. And let's try and clear out these guys. 1, 2. Yeah, okay. And then combat. Jeez, I think I'll hold on to these 2 cards. Soviets, is there any combat cards they want to play? This isn't an anytime card, so we'll do this. Soviets want to play this. Oh, well, we'll wait. No cards for them. We're looking at 4 to 1. The bridge negates the river effects, so it's looking at 4 to 1. No modifiers. Roll 3. 4 to 1. 3 is a DR result. They survive. No advance, and that's it. Soviets finished with yellow units of 1 army, and again, they're pretty happy. We might just bolster this sort of central area. 1, 2. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and an extra 1. I'll cross the river there, and I'll bring the tank. Oh, gee. No, they'll hold there, they'll hold. Mostly holding, really. Everything's looking pretty good. This tank unit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 with extra movement on the road. Yeah. Soviets have pulled back. I thought those yellow cannons would be bad, but they're actually not so bad. And the Soviets will also, anytime events, will play this event, starting on round 4. If I succeed, which I don't, it would have given me an extra card. But I failed. But I have 2 of these, so I'll try again. I failed again. And the reason I'm playing these is because you draw back up to, I think, 5 cards. And I do have... I should have thought about that. 2 extra step losses for the Germans in combat. Oh, well, I forgot. I'll hold that in my hand. And I forgot to play these as well. So keep in mind what you've got in your hand for combat. That's pretty much the end of that action phase. No formation cards left. We advance the Donnerschlag marker. It hasn't been played yet. We adjust the turn track. We move to turn 2. There are Soviet reinforcements coming out. We return to the start of the game. Didn't play the Schwerpunkt card chit either. So really forgetting the simple little things. Don't forget. So I'll play through this, but folks, hopefully that gives you an idea of how this plays. It's a very nice looking title. Fairly fast playing. Already, you can see just in turn 1, lots of interesting decisions brought on by the activation cards, the combat cards, and the situation on the map. That is Donnerschlag. I'm going to keep playing through this, and I'll do some more playthroughs later, so stay tuned, and you may catch some more. Donnerschlag by VUCA Simulations. Thanks, everyone, and take care.